Melissa Westcott, Campus Director here at the Moncton campus at Eastern College. Join us in conversation on how we can help you become job ready.
I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds, and what an absolute pleasure it is to be here in Moncton, New Brunswick, talking to people at Eastern College, people that are making a difference. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
I'm a PSW instructor here at Eastern College. I'm an LPN, to be exact, and I've worked with Eastern College since the beginning of March, doing the clinical supervision role, and then right on into the instructor role. I help out the students and get them prepared to do the workout on the work field.
Wow. Okay, so your journey before Eastern College, tell me about that.
My journey before Eastern, I started out as a PSW myself.
Okay.
I quickly went into LPN. I kind of transferred right over into there. I actually owned my own foot care clinic for a little bit. I took my foot care course as well. And then I realized it just wasn't it wasn't right for me.
Right.
I needed to find something that kind of aligned with my life
Yeah.
and what I needed there. And I always knew I needed to work with people.
Okay.
So I thought, well, let's try the instruction role and the clinical supervision role. And then they were like, would you like to do instruction? And I was like, absolutely, I would love that. And I feel like I'm really making a difference in a lot of people's lives right now. And it's really, really comforting.
That's powerful, right?
Yeah.
To know that you're making a difference in people's lives. Well, what's that feel like every day?
It feels great. I mean, some days are a little harder than others. I mean, I have upwards to 24 students in my classroom. I'm currently working the morning class and the afternoon class, so I have a mixture of about 45 students and they're phenomenal. They're great students. Obviously, some days are a little bit harder. People go through mental health issues, all those things. So I just try my best to work as a team with my classmates and my students because we are a team. That's what we are, and I feel like if we work as a team, then we're going to understand everything a lot more and be able to be comforting and be able to talk to each other whenever they need to, and talk to me about anything and everything.
Yeah. You got it right away, right? People go through things every day differently, and
Absolutely.
one day is different than the next, right?
Yes.
And if you've got that volume of people, you've got to be prepared for everything. And
You
as an
do.
instructor, you're kind of front and center in it all and trying to manage all of that. Complex, but rewarding as heck, eh?
Absolutely, it's so rewarding. I tell my students every day, they know that cell phones aren't a big thing. We don't like cell phones in the classroom, but they also know that I have mine. But they know that it's not for me to use it on a daily. It's because I also am a human being and I have things going on in my life. And to be quite fair with you, I have a heart condition. So working with health and health-wise, my twin brother is currently waiting for a transplant, so a heart transplant. So it's working along the lines of being able to promote these great educational learnings with them, but also know that we can still deal with our outside life, just kind of on a slow basis at the same time.
Right.
And I think they really enjoy that aspect, and I always make sure that I give examples of my personal life and what I've been through, because it's not going to be the same as what they're going to go through, but it's examples of things that they could see down the road.
Tell me about the program itself.
The program itself I find it's a wonderful program. PSW goes through the NACC program, which is the National Association of Career Colleges. So we follow along their program, and I find it very informative. I try my best to make sure that if there is things that are, hands-on, that we go to the lab. We get the lab hands-on, because yes, you can understand, you can pass your test with hundreds, but it's never going to be the same as doing it hands-on and actually doing it with a mannequin or with a significant other at home, or all those different things. So I really find that in the classroom, it's a lot of fun in there, and I make sure that we always we give ourselves a pat on the back when we're doing a good job, and I always make sure that my students are doing that for themselves as well.
The work that they're going out to do is important work, right?
100%.
It takes a special person to even go into that program.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about those students.
So as we should know, PSW, personal support worker programs, we're taking care of the most vulnerable. We're taking care of people's loved ones. So I always tell my students, if you wouldn't want somebody to teach or do that to your loved one, would it be okay? Why would you do it to them?
Yeah.
So I always say, put it into an experience. Is this something that you're going to want to do for the rest of your life? Is this something that you would be okay with somebody to your family. And I always make sure that they're comfortable with the things. They're scared. They're little scared little beans all the time, and they're nervous, and the mannequins aren't the same, right? So I always try and, again, while we watch videos, we do Kahoot games for reviews. We always get prepared in those ways, and then I always say, like, would you like to practice on me? Obviously, I'll lay down in the bed and they can practice and do whatever they want, whether they're making occupied beds with me in the bed with an actual human being rather than a mannequin. And I do find that really does help them a lot with me being able to be right in there with them instead of just saying, just do it on your own, because they like to have my experiences because I have 5 years of LPN work in the back of my pocket. So.
Wow. What would you tell people that are looking at this as a career choice?
I would say that if you are looking at doing a PSW program, obviously you're willing to work with people. Now, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of shift work. Healthcare is 24/7, so we have to remember that. But I do find that there are a lot of people out there that don't feel that they could be in this program, but they could be. They could be. They don't really understand that sometimes things that you do personally are things that you could do great at with the elders or in home care. And I find that there is a lot of students out there that are getting more comfortable with the idea of it. And like I said, like most of my students are international as well. So they're not used to doing these things. Talking about, doing things with other residents or, getting activities and stuff like that. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Am I going to break them? Are they fragile? And honestly, they are. The elders are fragile, but you just have to remember that we're their person. We're the person that they go to. We're the person that we say goodnight to. We, sometimes we could even give them a little kiss on the cheek to say goodnight because they don't get family members. Some of them don't have family members to go in for years on end. We are their family, and that's what I strongly encourage anybody that's willing to go into the PSW program is basically to just open up to them, be comfortable with the idea of it, and just know that you're making a really big change in someone's life.
How about Eastern College? What would you tell people about Eastern College?
Eastern College is great. It's fantastic. I've had, experiences here with friends that came here. I myself didn't come here. However, I know that they are sending out phenomenal PSWs, and to see the hard work that they put in here at Eastern College to make every student ready and willing and prepared and capable of all of these aspects of PSW, I think it's just phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal.
Thanks very much for being in conversation, and thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you. No worries at all.
Thank you for joining us today. Reach out at easterncollege.ca to learn more about how we can help you ring this bell.